Our mission today is pretty clear.
We're going to unpack why making mistakes isn't just okay. It's actually essential for learning and growing.
Right. And we'll explore how to approach them constructively, why being kind to yourself matters so much, and importantly, that asking for help is actually a smart strategy.
It's not a weakness.
Not at all. So let's start with that first big idea the source brings up, this whole myth of perfection.
Okay, yeah. So the material dives straight into that, doesn't it? This societal pressure we all feel to have the perfect body, the perfect job, the perfect life. It's everywhere.
It really is like scrolling through social media. It's just highlight reels.
Exactly. But the transcript makes a really fundamental point. Perfection. It's just not real. It's an illusion.
And chasing it, according to the source, can lead to a lot of worry, a lot of unhappiness, actually.
Right. So the counterpoint it offers is acceptance. Accepting imperfection. Accepting flaws.
Accepting that we will make mistakes. It's part of being human.
And that leads directly into how we learn, doesn't it? The source really frames mistakes as, well, as learning opportunities.
Yeah, fuel for growth, I think was the term used.
That's it. I mean, just think about it yourself. When you're learning something brand new, a language, an instrument.
Or even just a new process at work.
Right. How often do you nail it perfectly the first time?
Basically never. For me, anyway.
Exactly. And the source points this out. You probably stumbled. Mistakes help us figure things out, understand the world better.
It makes sense. Trying new stuff pretty much guarantees some errors along the way.
But here's the interesting twist the source puts on it. It says we should actually be kind of happy about them.
Happy about mistakes?
Yeah.
That sounds counterintuitive.
Well, happy because they mean we're actually doing something. We're trying new things, engaging. It's a sign of effort, not failure.
Okay, I see. That's a definite mindset shift. Instead of, oh no, I messed up, it's, okay, I'm learning something here.
Precisely. And it connects to another point. The transcript makes our imperfections, our mistakes, they actually make us unique.
Right. It poses that question. What if everyone was perfect?
It'd be incredibly boring, wouldn't it? A world of identical people, no diversity, no quirks.
Yeah, a bit monotonous. So the source argues our flaws are part of what makes us interesting, special.
So instead of beating ourselves up, we should maybe embrace those mistakes as part of our individuality.
Which flows nicely into reframing failure itself, doesn't it?
It does. The transcript really pushes back against seeing failure as this big, bad, negative thing.
It calls failure a valuable teacher.
Exactly. Learning from failure is how we improve, how we grow. Now, the source acknowledges it doesn't feel great initially.
No, disappointment, frustration.
That's normal.
Totally normal.
Wow.
But the key is the mindset, right? Not seeing it as a dead end, but as, well, information, a stepping stone.
Like a signpost, maybe? Pointing you in a slightly different direction.
That's a great way to put it. And the transcript gets practical here. How do you actually use that signpost? How do you learn?
It talks about analysis, right? Asking why.
Yes. Asking why did this mistake happen?
Yeah.
Was it not enough practice? Did I miss a step? Pinpointing that cause is crucial. The source calls it valuable knowledge.
And once you know the why, then what?
Then you make a plan. Concrete goals, step by step, to tackle whatever the weakness was.
And sometimes the failure itself shows you a weakness you didn't even know you had. That self-awareness piece.
That's a huge benefit, actually. You can't fix something if you don't know it's broken, so to speak.
True. So you analyze, you plan, you work on it.
And this is important. You celebrate the progress, the small wins. Ah, right. Positive reinforcement.
Exactly. Acknowledge when you do apply a lesson from a past mistake. It builds confidence, keeps you motivated.
That makes sense. It keeps you going. And related to keeping yourself going, the transcript talks a lot about self-compassion.
Oh, this is huge. Absolutely fundamental, according to the source. Being kind to yourself when you mess up.
Avoiding that harsh inner critic.
Yes. Treat yourself like you'd treat a good friend in the same situation. You wouldn't tear them down, right? You'd offer encouragement.
We are often way harder on ourselves, aren't we?
Definitely. And the transcript points out that harsh self-criticism can actually backfire. It can paralyze you, make you feel hopeless, stop you from improving.
It even gives examples of reframing, like instead of thinking I'm useless, thinking, okay, I'm still learning this.
Or next time I'll prepare more. That conscious shift in self-talk is really powerful. It reminds you mistakes are normal, part of being human, and they don't define you.
Okay, so analyze, be kind to yourself.
Sure.
But what if you're still stuck? You've tried, but you're just not getting past it.
That's where the next piece comes in. Seeking help.
And again, The source reframes this, not as weakness.
But as a smart approach, strength even, talking it through with someone else, someone who's maybe been there.
Can spark new ideas, right? Fresh perspectives.
Totally. Things you just wouldn't see on your own when you're in the thick of it.
And asking for help shows you want to improve, you're willing to learn. Those are good qualities.
Admirable qualities, yeah. The advice is to find trusted people, mentors, teachers, experienced friends.
People who can offer guidance.
And it's not just about asking, it's about listening. Really hearing the suggestions, explaining your mistake clearly, being open-minded.
Even to approaches that feel a bit unfamiliar.
Especially then, sometimes, because, as the source notes, new approaches can be highly effective. It's all part of growth. Needing help is normal.
So you get help, you learn the lesson.
Yeah.
Then the transcript says, essentially, don't get stuck there either. Move forward.
Exactly. Don't dwell too much on the past mistake. Lingering on it can actually hold you back from making progress now.
Expect bumps in the road, basically.
Yeah, expect obstacles. Be flexible. Adapt your plan if you need to. Things don't always go smoothly.
And underlying this is self-belief. Believing you can create positive change.
Right. The source suggests recalling past successes, times you did overcome challenges through perseverance. Remind yourself you've done hard things before.
Build that confidence muscle.
Yeah. And consciously decide, okay, that mistake is in the past. Now focus energy on the future, step by step.
Now, sometimes our mistakes affect other people. The transcript addresses that too, right? The apology part.
Yes, very thoughtfully. It talks about the power of a sincere apology, saying, I'm sorry.
Takes courage, it notes.
It does, but it can be incredibly healing for relationships. Rebuilding trust when you've messed up and hurt someone.
And sincerity is key. It shows you understand you did wrong.
Right. It opens the door for everyone to move forward. And the source suggests most people actually appreciate and respect a genuine apology, that humility.
And then, for yourself, after apologizing, let go of the guilt.
Yes. Let go of the guilt and shame. Holding on to those negative feelings doesn't help anyone, least of all you. It just hinders your own growth.
So forgiveness comes into play.
Absolutely. Forgiving others, definitely. But also, crucially, forgiving yourself. Be compassionate with yourself, just like you would with a friend.
Holding on to self-blame just keeps you stuck in negativity.
Exactly. Forgiving yourself frees up energy to focus positively on the present and future.
It also mentions trying to see the other person's side and maybe offering a second chance.
Yeah, where appropriate. And it clarifies forgiveness isn't about saying the bad behavior was okay.
No, it's about releasing the burden for yourself.
Right. Letting go of that resentment. It actually puts you back in control of your own emotions.
Okay, so all these pieces, learning from mistakes, self-compassion, seeking help, moving forward, apologizing, forgiving, they all seem to build toward this final idea the transcript covers. Resilience.
That's the perfect word for it. Resilience. The ability to bounce back from setbacks.
And resilient people, according to the source, see mistakes differently.
Yeah, not as failures, but as, well, we're back to learning opportunities again, valuable lessons.
It's that mindset shift recurring.
It really is. So feel the disappointment. Okay, allow that, but then refocus. Make a plan. Try again.
And it's just breaking big goals down.
Into smaller, manageable steps. Patience and determination are key.
And leaning on that support network again, if needed.
Definitely. Asking for help renews motivation, gives perspective. And remembering past challenges you did overcome builds that crucial self-belief.
I liked the analogy it used. Resilience is like a muscle.
Yeah, overcoming obstacles strengthens it, just like exercise strengthens muscles.
And positive self-talk is part of that strengthening process.
Huge part. And encouraging others, too. Avoid harsh judgment. Acknowledge the effort. Even just saying to yourself or someone else, I'm proud you tried your best.
That simple acknowledgement can make a difference.
A big difference. And finally, celebrate those small wins along the way. Keep reinforcing that progress. That's how you build resilience over time.
Okay, wow. That was a lot, but really practical stuff. So let's try and quickly recap the core ideas from this deep dive.
Right. So first off, mistakes are basically inevitable. More than that, they're essential for learning and growing. Don't fear them.
Second, embracing imperfection and practicing self-compassion, being kind to yourself, is crucial for navigating those bumps.
Third, asking for help isn't weakness, it's smart. It shows strength and opens doors to new solutions.
And finally, it all builds towards resilience, that ability to bounce back, learn, and keep moving forward.
Which leads us to a final thought for you, our listener. the learner.
Yeah, something to mull over.
Think about a mistake you've made recently. Could be big, could be small. Now, based on everything we've just discussed,
Learning from it, being kind to yourself, maybe getting perspective.
how could you reframe that experience? What's the actual lesson hidden in there? And really consciously think, how can I apply a bit more self-compassion to myself in that situation, looking back?
It's not about beating yourself up again.
Not at all. It's about using it. Using that experience, even the uncomfortable feelings, as fuel for your own growth and understanding moving forward. What can you learn, and how can you be kinder to yourself in the process?